what's going on? It's Kyger1324 up here today. We are doing the second part of the PlayStation 2 childhood games video. In the last video I talked about some PS2 games that I grew up with, games that I personally had, and I've got to say that, you know, I really enjoyed doing this, and actually I'm looking forward to going back and playing these games. But speaking of playing games, I think I need to just say what I've been playing recently. I've been going through my Xbox One collection to say that I've at least played every single game that I've had at least once. Now, I do like to complete games. I normally just do the main story and then I've said I've completed it. But I don't want to sit here and constantly put so much time into one game when I've got tons more games. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit here and do that. But I did try out Unity. I weren't that happy with it, so obviously I'm not going to come back to that game. Maybe one day I might come back to it, but for now I put in a few days worth of gameplay into it and I sort of gave up on it. Syndicate, same thing, but I will come back to Syndicate for sure, because I did enjoy Syndicate. It's definitely better than Unity. I will say. I tried out Battlefield Hardline as well. Actually. Those strands. I tried out Battlefield Hardline as well and did a bit of the story on that. Actually not a bad game, actually. I will say it's kind of a cool little sort of different game. It's not like the traditional Battlefield games, but it's definitely got a better story mode than the Battlefield 1, I will say. At least they tried with Battlefield Hardline. And I just tried out Carmageddon max damage as well, and so I'll probably play some more of it tonight. I only played a few races, and I've got to say it's actually a fun little game. Actually, it's not that bad. It's not the best game. It's not as good as, say, Twisted Metal was on PS3. That was a fantastic version of Twisted Metal. But it's up there. It's all right. It's definitely a playable game. It's not the best. But it's a dirt cheap game. I'm going to do a video on Xbox One games under £5. And then the next game I'm going to try is Darksiders HD War Mastered Edition. Never played the first Darksiders game, so I'll give it a go, see if I like it. Anyway, let's just get straight into it with part 2. Here we have Lego Star Wars, the video game. This was the first Lego TT games, in my opinion, that sort of set the actual standard. Bionicle Heroes, I think, came before this, but I don't think it did. I think it's 2005. But I think yeah, this set the standard for what Lego games are today. You know, breaking blocks, going through levels based on movies. I remember when this came out, I was absolutely amazed by just how fun these games were. The humour was great. This one included episode 1, 2 and 3, and then they did the original trilogy complete saga when they did one on the Clone Wars. I'm hoping that they'll do another Lego Star Wars, possibly on Star Wars Rebels or the other episodes of seasons of Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars game was only based on the first 2 seasons. And the new season 7, is coming out. I'm looking forward to that. I kind of was disappointed with the ending to that. And it was weird because everyone goes, oh yeah, it was 6 seasons. But the 6th season was exclusive to Netflix, I found. Yeah, you can find it on the internet and stuff. Here's another one that I played. Oh yeah, but I played a ton of this with my brother as well. We used to mess around and do all that shit. Urban Chaos. I remember playing this game back in the day, and I thought it was actually a really good first-person shooter. It's a Riot sort of response, sort of first-person shooter. It's a brutal game. I remember it being really brutal back in the day, but it's been a long time, so I might have to refresh my memory of that one. Now here's kind of a hidden gem. No One Lives Forever, the operative. This game is just sort of like take James Bond. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Take James Bond and get rid of James Bond, and this is what you get. Fuck's sake. Phone call. Every time, huh? Every time. But yeah, I remember this game actually being really decent. It's kind of a hidden gem. It's kind of like an old sort of nod to GoldenEye. This is what they sort of went for. Sierra, of course. Company Metal Jesus worked for. So, you know. Oh. There you go, you can see yourself now. Right. Next, we have Turok Evolution. I didn't have an N64 growing up, so this was the only Turok game I have ever played, and still to this day I haven't played the N64 versions. I do have one of the N64 games. Oh, he's off. But I don't have. But I know there's a HD version of the game on the Xbox One. But I remember this game. I remember playing a little bit of the multiplayer, the campaign. It was a fun little game, actually. This is one that I do remember. I think I played it on the GameCube, though. I think I already mentioned Thrillville, yeah, because Heather had put all these games back into this bag, so I had to take out the ones that Midnight Club I done there. Ah, yeah. Now here's one that I didn't play a lot of, but I remember one of my friends having it. Dog's Life. This was an interesting game, and I've talked about it before. It's basically a video game where you play as a dog, from a dog's perspective, and it's kind of an interesting concept. It's a Sony branded game, Frontier. Dog's Life 2. Oh, Dog's Life FP. Oh, Ps2.com. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting game. It's a unique game. It's not the best, I will say. It's been a long time since I've played it, but I remember it being quite unique and kind of a novelty, kind of one of them sort of obscure things that you wouldn't expect to be a game. But yeah, there's quite a few animal games out there now. There's like shark games and everything. So now here's one that's a terrible game. I know. Shadow the Hedgehog. It's so. It's not that great of a game. It's not as bad as Sonic 06, mind you. But I remember this game because I remember just being amazed that you could go around shooting people and stuff with Shadow the Hedgehog. And of course, being a fan of Shadow the Hedgehog, I was very happy to see him get his own game. Unfortunately, it's notorious for being quite a bad sort of game, but it was a special one for me. Here's another one, Warhammer 40k Fire Warrior. If you know me, I was a big fan of Warhammer as a kid. When I was a teenager, I had a few Warhammers, and I loved Dawn of War, but here's a first-person shooter where you play as a Tau Fire Warrior, and it was interesting to see a game where you play as Tau. It had some multiplayer modes. I played a little bit of the multiplayer with my mate and my brother. I didn't play too much of this game, but I do remember it from my childhood. Back in the day, I don't actually own an iToy. Yeah, I do need to get one. Back in the day, the iToy was amazing. It was one of those sort of early examples of a this is sort of like a precursor to the Wii and the Kinect, really. It's not the first camera of its kind and all this stuff, but it really sort of brings brand gamers together and all, people that don't play games. I remember the Kung Fu mode and everything. Fun little experience, still fun to this day, and I remember this being really fun back in the day, and I remember, seeing myself on the TV blew my mind as a kid. Never seen anything like it when I was younger. I know there was stuff beforehand, but I never grew up with that stuff, so this is what I had. And I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I need to get an iToy. We can't talk about my childhood without mentioning Gran Turismo 4. Now, Gran Turismo has a legacy that still lives on to this day. It's a fantastic simulator racer game. And it's... that face says it all right there, don't it? That face says it all right there. It was a fantastic racing game, and a lot of people say Grand Theft Auto 5 or 6 or Sport is the best one, but 4, this was amazing. I remember putting so much time into playing this, just testing out all the cards. The B-Spec mode was really fun, which was like the strategy. Annoying. The B mode was sort of like a strategy mode where you play as like a manager. So it was kind of a unique, fun experience. It was a really fun game, actually, and the graphics still this day are amazing. Gran Turismo, fantastic simulator game. Don't really play a lot of racing games that are simulators these days. Medal of Honor Rising Sun. Now, everyone grew up with Call of Duty or Medal of Honor or whatever. Everyone goes on about Frontline, but a lot of people actually don't remember Rising Sun that much. I remember this game being really cool because you fought against the Japanese army Pearl Harbor and all this. Co-op campaign and the multiplayer was awesome. Many hours spent on the multiplayer on this game. Really awesome game. Speaking of Call of Duty, I did have Call of Duty 2, Big Red one. I really enjoyed this one as a kid. I remember getting all the way to the final mission and failing it, and couldn't get past like the part where you're in the dragon's breath, the dragon's teeth bunkers. I couldn't really get past that as a kid, but I have beaten it in my sort of older days, and great Call of Duty game. Call of Duty World War II. You know, they tried to go back to the past, but I think Call of Duty just needs to lie dormant for a few years and then come back better than ever. But yeah, here's Max Payne, another sort of Rockstar game that sort of not many people talk about anymore. It's all GTA or Red Dead Redemption 2. Max Payne was amazing. This was awesome. The bullet time, the story, the gameplay was fan-fucking-tastic. Never played the second one. I did play the third one and beat the third one when it came out, but I rented that actually. But Max Payne 1, fantastic game, and you can get it on the PS4 now as well, so if you want to play it on the PS4, you can play a digital version, which is essentially almost a HD remaster, but isn't. It's just optimized for PS4. Here's kind of an obscure game called X Squad. It was an EA title. It was basically a third-person action game. You had squad members and each character had their own sort of abilities and stuff. It's not that great of a game, but I do remember it from my childhood, so I had to mention it. Speaking of another one from my childhood, I didn't play too much of, but I do remember it being an awesome game. Area 51, great multiplayer if you have some people to play it with. I can't remember there being bots, but the story mode was pretty fun. This is a really, really good game. It is a great game and had online back in the day. So if I would have had online growing up, you know, I would have loved playing that online. We can't talk about my game PS2 career without mentioning Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. These games, the original Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, yeah, it's weird to have to say that these days. These games are notorious for being the best Star Wars games ever made. Battlefront 2, to this day on PC, is still getting mods made for it. They are amazing. Some of the mods are fucking awesome. I spent so many hours on these games, a little bit more on the second one than the first one. Second favourite game of all time. It's hard, it is hard, but Time Splitters for me was a little bit more. I played that a little bit more, but many hours spent on this, and actually I don't need to do a gameplay video on this because I already did a playthrough on it, and this was like one of my first videos that I did gaming, so absolutely amazing game. The second one just added everything you needed to it. Space battles, heroes, the galactic conquest mode was fucking even better, you know, instant action. The story mode, it was actually its own story. Basically you play as the clones leading up to Order 66, and then after Order 66, Rise of the Empire. But yeah, Battlefront 1 and 2, definitely looking forward to doing gameplay on the second game. But here's another Star Wars one that I had as a kid. Yeah, Star Wars games. I had to have more. I still want to have them all. I've got all of the Star Wars games on PS2 now, though. Yeah, I do. I have all of the PS2 Star Wars games, so I might do a dedicated video on these. Bounty Hunter, Jango Fett. You know, back in the day, I thought he was an awesome character, and this game made him out, gave him, you know, because like Boba Fett, he sort of was an awesome character, but he died in a stupid way. And you sort of go, I want to know more about this character, how he, you know, sort of what he was able to do. Oi! Deutschland! Here, what's this? Yeah, I'll play with that. He was an awesome character back in the day, guys. I really, really did felt like this game tried something unique. Awesome game. It gets quite hard though, actually. I haven't beaten it yet to this day, but remember this one. Remember my older brother playing it. Played it myself. Love this game. It is on the GameCube and the Xbox. And I believe a sequel was meant to happen with Boba Fett, but I think it just didn't get enough prize or enough support or something. I don't know. Can't mention Dragon Ball Z without mentioning Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi series. This is just the first game. I do have the second game, but only as a disc. It's in a Cell Damage Overdrive case because the story goes, I went to a shop where I used to live, Game City, mentioned that thing loads of times, and I brought Cell Damage Overdrive for 50p, but they put Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2 in the disc. I weren't complaining because that was about a £10-15 game at the time still. The third game was the one that I think I played the most of, but just as a series, loved the 3D fighting in this game. It tried something new with the sort of 3D game fighting behind the character, and now there's all of these anime games. You know, we got that all the Naruto fighting games. You've got all of the J-Stars game. You've got this new that One Piece, Naruto, and Dragon Ball Z game coming out. I can't remember the name. It's got I can't remember the name, but the new one that's coming out, I'll probably remember it after the video. But yeah, this is an absolutely amazing fighting game. And the third game had over 100 and something characters, and you could import the characters from the other games. It was crazy. I did mention Path of Neo, but the original Enter the Matrix game was just as fun. Again, growing up, loving Kung Fu things, loved this game. I still haven't beat it to this day. I remember my older brother beating it, but because I get to the part where you have to protect someone with the sniper, but I couldn't do it because back when I was living at home, I didn't have any curtains, so I couldn't see what I was doing. So I might have to go back and try and finish this. Here's some sort of we've got a bunch of movie games here now. In fact, we've got 5 movie games here. Yeah, it's crazy that there are some good movie games out there. Over the Hedge. The movie was so-so, but the game, on the other hand, was absolutely amazing. I remember playing this with my brothers. I played it with my mate as well. Fucking fun as hell game. Lots of different sort of unique levels, co-op mission. It's co-op all the way, drop in, drop out kind of thing, and I love this game. This is fucking amazing. I'm not talking too much in detail on these because I want the gameplay to show what I can't say, basically. SpongeBob SquarePants Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. You see, this was one of my mate Ryan's game, and he said that at one point he had this game and he snapped the disc in two. Which is why I had 2 copies of the game, or something, and scratched it. I remember this game. It's not great, it's not that great, but I do remember playing it with my mate and putting some time into it. Gotta love SpongeBob. Still going to this day, I think, and I might have to watch SpongeBob again and watch every single episode. I did it with The Simpsons, so why not SpongeBob? Yeah, I've watched every single episode of The Simpsons now. It's crazy. Took me a while. I'm finishing Dot Hat Roots. And I've been watching some wrestling, old school back in the day, 1990s Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, all that sort of stuff. Golden era of wrestling, you know, Hulk Hogan and all that good stuff. $1 Million Man. Love that wrestling. I love that era. Scooby-Doo Unmasked. Actually, never really watched Scooby-Doo as a kid. The cartoon, I didn't really care too much for, but the actual, I did like the movie, the live action movie. I love that movie. But this Scooby-Doo game is awesome because you got these costumes and each costume would give you powers, and it was cool because most Scooby-Doo games you couldn't really fight the enemies, you had to avoid them or jump on their head or something like traditional platformer. This one sort of went for more action beat 'em up style thing, and it's a pretty fun game, not gonna lie. And we can't talk about a movie-based game without mentioning The Incredibles: Rise of the Underminer. Co-op, beat-em-up action at its best. The original Incredibles game was so-so, but this one was more of a traditional drop-in, drop-out, beat-em-up game. You could either play as Frozone or Mr. Incredible. 2 players. Played this game to death with my brother. I think we beat it at one point, but absolutely fantastic, amazing game. I don't know how well it holds up. Definitely can't wait to try it out. And the last Star Wars game that I had as a kid, we have here Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Surprisingly, this is actually the best of the prequel movies and the best of the prequel games, to be honest. Great game, hack and slash style gameplay, sort of with a sort of like almost over the top camera angle, kind of a hard to explain. When you fight the people in the boss fights, it goes into a one-on-one fighting mode. Had some cool bonus modes where you could play as certain characters, some co-op modes. But what I loved most about this game was the one-on-one fighting mode. You could actually get it as its own mode. And I remember for some reason, this is what I remember. When I played as Darth Vader, I was playing against my brother. And I was Darth Vader and he was General Grievous. Where are you going? 1 second. I was Darth Vader, he was General Grievous, who was actually a really fun character. And basically, I was attacking him, and even though he was blocking, somehow Darth Vader was still managed to hit him. And I can actually prove this theory because I don't know if it was a glitch in the game that we had. I don't know if it was a glitch or what, but but it didn't happen with any other character apart from when I played as Darth Vader. So I don't know what was going on there, but I remember him moaning at that. And then last but not least, we got two more. We got here Soul Calibur 2. This game don't need any introduction because this game is absolutely one of the best fighting games of all time. Don't care what anyone says. Most fighting games, number 2 was always the best one. It worked for Mortal Kombat, it worked for fucking Street Fighter, and it worked for Soul Calibur. Yeah, wow. You ain't got no more juice, sorry mate. But yeah, awesome game. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but who do I fight as? Voldu. Again, one of these things about this game to be noted is that each version of the game has its own unique character. The GameCube version has Link, the PS2 version has Hitachi and from Tekken, and the PS3, the Xbox version had Spawn. And last but not least, a game that I wanted to throw in here because I played it as a kid, loved it. Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects. It was a Marvel fighting game, sort of a one-on-one fighting game, but it sort of took this sort of... It was more like an open-ended fighting game, so you could fight all over the environments and stuff like that. I know this game hasn't got great reviews, and I know it didn't get amazing. It weren't one of the best Marvel games out there, but actually I had this game as a kid, and I enjoyed it. So, there we have it. That is the final lot of PS2 games that I had as a kid. Now, like I said, there are a ton more that I did have or played, but I can't do this fucking all day, can I? So, you know, the thing is, the PlayStation 2 has a legacy that lives on to this day, and it goes to show, even though my game's not on there at the moment, they will be when I come back home, and I'm going to do them in alphabetical order, even though the PlayStation 2... Oi! You. Even though the PlayStation 2 may not be the most powerful system, the Xbox was more powerful, the GameCube was more powerful, it has a legacy. Almost 3,000 games worldwide, in PAL territory, worldwide, whatever. Is it an impossible collection to go for? Almost. But nonetheless, the thing is, the PlayStation 2 just, it goes to show, it has a legacy, and a lot of people grew up with a PS2. Most people that I knew had a PS2 over an Xbox or GameCube. In fact, everyone that I knew had a PS2. And to this day, it's still a great console to go back to and play some games for. And there's too many games on the PS2, so you can't sit here and say there's nothing on the PS2 for you. It has everything. No matter how obscure something might seem, no doubt it's on the PS2. I know it's not the biggest console that has the most games for it. I know there's arcade machines and the Commodore and all this stuff. But nonetheless, PS2, great console. Can't wait to go back and play these games. See if they're just as good as what I remember. And the thing is, the PS2, it just has this nostalgia. It is nostalgia for me. It is the console that made me into the gamer that I am today. And, well, the collector / gamer. Now, I just want to address an elephant in the room here. you may have noticed in the last video and this one that I'm wearing makeup. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. Oh my god, is he gay? Well, the fact that I have a son and I'm engaged to Heather just shows that I'm not gay. I'm bisexual. I wanted to get that out of the room. I've been bisexual for a long time. I did mention it in a video a long time ago, but I sort of didn't take any knowledge to it. The thing is, I know some people you might get a lot of backlash for this, but I don't want to hide who I am anymore. You know, I don't want to pretend. Heather knows that I'm bisexual. My family know that I'm bisexual. All of my mates know that I'm bisexual. I have no interest in leaving Heather to go and meet a guy. I don't do anything like that. Like I said, it's not a choice. I do support the LGBT community. I've always been with the LGBT community. In fact, I went to youth clubs and I went to the Pride Festival and all this stuff. I'm not like some people who are all over the fact. In fact, most people look at me and wouldn't even know. But basically, the last few days, I've been thinking a lot about things. And the thing is, I have a lot of stress. You see, guys, I'm under a lot of stress. My mum's basically dying of cancer. You know, I'm left alone with Logan. Sorry, I'm going to have to take the camera with me. I'm left alone with Logan when he... Oh, you're in the kitchen. I'm left alone with Logan when Heather has to go to work. Now, I have no issue with being left alone with Logan. He's my son. I love him to pieces. He's a little shitbag because he's in that kitchen. What are you doing? Look at him. Yeah. You know, the thing is, he is a little shitbag, but he's my son. You know, he's 11 months, he's nearly a year. I'm under a lot of stress. And I had noticed that I was getting really bad. I weren't taking anger out on Logan per se, but I was getting very aggravated by things and stuff like that. Now, like I said, for so long, I'm not one of these people that go out. I don't wear this out in the street. I only wear this in my house. The only people that see me wear it, apart from, well, everyone who watches this video now, I don't really care. The thing is, everyone who comes and goes in this house, nobody cares. In fact, most of the people that I know have no issue with it. Even Heather's brother, Kieran, who I thought probably would have had an issue with it, don't. Some people might be like, well, does that not bother you that your son might want to do that? If my son wants to wear makeup when he's older, he can wear makeup. Nobody, and I mean nobody, not me, not his mum, not his nan, no one gets to choose what Logan does in life. He will do his own thing in life. If he wants to be a sportsman, he can be a sportsman. I don't like sport per se, but if he wants to go and be a footballer when he's older, he can do that. It is his life to do. We can guide him. We can give him all the opportunities that we didn't have. He's fucking pulled the blimmin'... This is what I mean. This is what I have to put up with, you see. But anyway, because I was under a lot of stress, I've sort of took that and put it into a form of creativity. Because I know a lot of people will be like, well, you know, wearing makeup makes you gay. It doesn't. I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, a lot of these old people, Boy George and all this, Freddie Mercury and all these stuff, wore it and they were gay. Fabulous, baby. Fabulous. All right, don't hate on it. I'm joking. But seriously, for me, it's more of a creative thing. I take all my stress and all my anger and all this stuff, and I use it into productivity and creativity. In fact, I actually love the pink that I've done today. And I know a lot of people might hate on me for this, and I want to mention the reason why I've said this and acknowledged it. I didn't acknowledge it in yesterday's video. In fact, most people probably don't care. But if you're one of these people that really are bothered by it, get the fuck off my channel, because I have no interest in that. All right. If you're gonna make issues and stuff about it, then that's your issue, all right? I have no interest. I'm not going to change my channel and make it into one of these overly camp channels and fucking make my channel about makeup. My fucking channel is about gaming. It always has been. It always will be, all right? My channel is about me. This is my channel. We do things on this channel. But yeah, anyway, as for productivity, I actually did tidy up this whole fucking living room yesterday, and we painted the hallway and everything. Well, I didn't paint the hallway. I tidied up this whole living room, and my son's home one day, and he's already fucking destroyed the living room. I know it's not necessarily him, it's other people, but literally, I took that creativity and took everything. One thing I want to mention, I did move my Xbox One up there, and my PS2 still under there. That's Emma's Xbox One down there because she brings it down here sometimes. And then I just put my Xbox 360 and PS4, so it's on that TV. But when we come back off my mum's, hopefully we'll have some units either here or here. And all of the consoles, every single console that I have, will be hooked up. Will it be plugged in and ready to play at any time? Possibly when I get switches and plugs that I can turn on and off. But I prefer not to have too many things on at once because of electricity. But if you get switches and you can turn things off and AV switches and that, you know, it is possible. It's something that I do want to do. I've already took the, sorry, yeah, that's because I had to move because we're getting carpet fitted. We were meant to get it fitted, tomorrow, but because, well, we're going to have to wait now. So obviously I took all my PS2 games off to put on the, take them upstairs because obviously I thought we were going to have to take all the furniture out, you see. But nonetheless, I've took all my games and I've started to make my games more presentable. They're each on dedicated bookcase and stuff. So now it's time to do the same thing with the consoles. Set them all up, ready to play, and... Right, it's time for some food, isn't it? He wants some food. He didn't sleep well. He stayed at Heather's dad last night, but he didn't sleep very well, apparently. He only had about 3 hours sleep, so... He's been very tired since he's come home, ain't ya? Oi! Leave my foundation alone, don't you eat that. But yeah, this isn't, by the way, this isn't something that I do that I wear around my family, around when I'm out and about. This is just something that I do in my own home to put away my creative side. And I ain't gonna boost my own boat, toot my own horn too much, but I've got to say, you know, for someone who's just started doing it, not too bad. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. And, of course, feel free to comment below. Make the comments about the actual games, if possible. If you're one of these people who are just going to try and start shit, I ain't interested, alright? I'll just block you, and you can get the fuck off my channel. I don't care if you're a subscriber who's been subscribed to my channel since day one. You can get off, because I have no interest in that. If you can't just ignore the fact that I'm wearing a little bit of makeup and concentrate on the actual video itself, then you know what? You're not worth it. So, man knows, okay? I know. Anyway, guys, if you enjoy, and of course, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and join the family. I won't have makeup on in every single video, don't worry. In fact, most of my videos that I'm going to try and focus on when I get back to my mum's are those, the PS2 videos. I'll probably do a little bit of a vlog video when I get all the consoles set up. Maybe like a game room or something, a proper tour when everything's set up and ready to go. Anyway, guys, and of course, as always, have a nice day. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.